This is the alleged account back and forth from what it is that Mike Johnson, they said, was saying to some unknown person on Grinder. It says, "What luxurious hair you have." Of course, Mike Johnson is the blue. And it says, and the respondent says, "Thank you. I would return the favor in giving you a compliment, but I don't know what you look like." And then he says, "Are you in town for a couple of days visiting DC?" He said, "Yes, I am. Are you offering me a tour?" To which allegedly Mike Johnson says, "I can give you one." Here's where it gets, pretty salacious. "I have a few contacts. We can go to the Dabney for dinner, and then back to my place, and I can blow your brains out while pulling on that luxurious hair." Jesus responds back to, "Oh, straightforward, I see, LOL, especially from a man who won't show his face." He says, "Very discreet man with a few kids, not trying to mess up my situation."
Got him!
It's funny, but this kind of reminds me of that podcast that Nipsey was on when he talked about self-hatred. Let's check out that clip real quick, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
As a gangbanger, right? When you go on a mission, you might, when you looking for your so-called enemy, you driving through a different hood down the street. You know, it's an invisible line. You cross this street, now you in another hood, and you hunting. And when you looking, you gonna pass up the dude that's dressed square, right? You gonna pass up a dude from a different race. When you see somebody that's dressed like you dress, and got the walk like you got, and got the body language like you gonna say, there you go, get him. And that's deep.
Whew.
You know what I'm saying? When you really unpack that.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? You looking for yourself just on the other side of town. And you gonna hop out and attack him and try to down him in a real way. And being caught up in gangbanging culture, you don't think that deep. You just think of, these niggas came through and shot the hood up. We about to go back through there and return the favor.
That just shows you that politicians don't think that deep either. Because that's exactly what that politician and many other anti-gay politicians who come out as being gay, having gay affairs. You have this immense self-hatred that you mask it in this sort of patriotic, I'm fighting for my country and what should be type of package, and that's how you deliver it to the public. But the truth is, it's just self-hatred in a nice package. I wouldn't say it's a nice package, but pause. But seriously though, it's like these people really hate themselves. If you think about it, it's no different than Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Hitler did the same shit. Wasn't he part Jewish? And he tried to hide that evidence. But when self-hatred has power and has influence, that's when it becomes extremely detrimental, because it has such a larger impact than the individual who has self-hatred, who's just, a drunk on a bar stool, or who's, a drug addict on the street. They don't have as much of an impact. Or like Nipsey said, the gang member who hates himself, so he's looking for himself, they don't have as much of an impact as, say, a politician does. And that's why on this channel I talk about diving within, finding these inner shadows. And the clue is, what frustrates you? If something really frustrates you, that's a sign. There's something there. There's something about you that's there. So dive into it. Or you could be like these people, and take your hatred out on the world. But yeah, I hope I'm not doing that anywhere.